Hi, second grade, it's Miss Klapp. I'm going to be doing our math lesson for today. So our objective for today is you guys are going to be able to add two-digit numbers up to 100 without any regrouping. So we're going to start off on a little bit easier, and then next week we'll do our regrouping after we've had some time to practice just more basic numbers. Just like we do in the beginning of each class, I wanted to give you guys kind of like your own little sprint. Normally you have your sprint and you write it down with your dry erase marker, but since we don't have that right now, I found some flashcards. So I'm going to hold up the flashcards. I just want you to yell out what the answer is. I'll give you guys a couple seconds between each of them. I'll flip them over so you can see what the answer is, and then we'll go from there. Remember, if you need a 100 chart, you can print them right offline. Have somebody help you at home to find 100 charts. All you have to do is type in Google 100 charts for kids, something like that, and they should come right up. If not, you can even make your own 100 chart right on paper. Could be lined paper, not lined paper, whatever you have available, and just write 1 to 10 on each line, and then 11 to 20, and keep going till you get to 100, just to help you add a little bit better. If you don't need them, you don't need to worry about it, but up to you what works best for you. Okay, so I'm going to hold up some cards. You're just going to call out the answer so we get our brain started on our math, getting ready to go. So first one. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. 3. Remember, we start at our big number, go up one more. What number comes after 2? 3. Good job if you got it. We're going to go a little harder. Check your answer. 4. Okay, remember we're doing doubles. So 2, 4, doubled it up. Your next one. Call out the answer. Check your answer, see if you got it. Okay, remember when you add anything plus 1, it's just the next number up. So the number that comes after 5 is 6. Check your answer, see if you got 7. The one we did last time is 6. This is just adding one more, so you go up another one. So 5 plus 2 is 7. Check your answer. They're going to get a little harder and a little harder each one, but just stay with me. I know you guys can do it. Okay. And this one, I know a lot of people during the school year would say they knew 6 plus 6 is 12. Since 7 is one more, it'd be like 12 plus 1 gives you 13. Check your answer. This one also, 9 is 1 away from 10, so it'd be like 10 plus 2. Remember we did that where what you do to one side, you do another to make it an easier addition problem. So it'd be the same as 10 plus 2, which is 12. Any number plus 0, remember, stays the same number, so these should be quick and easy. Get 11, same with this one, 10 plus 4, 14. 11 plus 1, remember you just go up to the next number. So what number comes after 11? Call it out. Good job. Okay. Remember when we add 10 plus a single digit number, all you do is replace that number in the ones place. Your tens place stays the same. So 10 plus 3, 13. Same thing. Any number plus 0, always the same. 12. We'll do one more. Get 15. Good. So now that we got your brains kind of started on math, going a little bit, refreshing our memory. I know it's been a while since some of us have done even the simple addition problems. So you can make your own flashcards at home to practice when you want. You can also find some online, print them off. I think it's really important though to practice those single and double digit addition, just so they become automatic. So we're not counting on our fingers, but you just know them when they come up. Okay, so today, like I said, we're going to be doing addition up to 100 without regrouping. So this is going to take it back right before winter break, what we were working on, a little bit before then. So we're going to start off easier, and I'm going to have them get a little bit harder, and then I'm going to give you some that I want you guys to try on your own. And then Wednesday, your teacher will go over one of these with you. If you're in my class, I'll be going over it with you, or Miss Lynn or Miss Clothier. We'll practice one so you can check and make sure that you're on the right track. And if you have any questions, we can answer questions on Wednesday during your designated Zoom times. So each teacher has their own time. So if you're not sure, check with your teacher. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to start off, like I said, a little bit easier, and we'll get a little bit harder and harder. So we're going to start off 10 plus 9. What's super important whenever you are adding, subtracting, doing any sort of math, you line up your numbers. What that means is, I'm going to circle them just so you see. So my 1s are on top of my 1s, okay? My 10s, I don't have another 10, so it's over here on its own. But you have to make sure you line it up right, because if you were to put the 9 over here and not line it up correctly, it will change your whole entire answer, and you won't be getting the right answer. So please make sure you line it up. If you have notebook paper, what I suggest is taking your notebook and just turning it sideways so the lines will be here, just like you can see. I'm not sure if you can see them too well, but I have lines here so that you can make sure you line them up within the lines, and it helps you to keep your problems straight. So if you have notebook paper, that's the easiest way to keep track of them all. So when you're doing your addition, you always start in your 1s place, okay? Always. If you start in another place, you can get the wrong answer once we start doing our regrouping, borrowing, carrying over, depending on if you're doing addition or subtraction. So no matter what, you always start in your 1s place. 1s place is the furthest to the right. So that's your 1s place, okay? So what this is saying is if I have 0 1s, so nothing, and I'm adding it to 9 1s. So to show a representation, I have some cubes. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cubes. Okay, if I had nothing to it, how many cubes do I have? I still have my 9 cubes, because remember, any number plus 0 gives you the same number. So I bring down my 9. 0 plus 9, 9. And I made sure when I put my answer, I put it under my 1s, because I am adding 1s. The answer for that needs to be in the 1s column. So please make sure you're really careful to add things up in the columns. Now I'm moving over here. So remember, this is an example. This is what a 10 looks like. Okay? If you look, it's kind of hard to see. If you look closely, you can see each individual cube stacked on top of each other makes one 10 cube. Okay? So this is saying I have one 10 and there's nothing under here. I don't have any more 10s. So 1 10 plus nothing, still have my 1. So carry it straight down, 1. So my answer, 19. I have 19 blocks altogether. I have my 10, and I have my 9 1s, 19 altogether. So if you're not sure, count them, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 altogether, okay? So that one's a little bit easier. We're going to try and get a little bit harder. We're going to be adding 10s and 1s for our next one, okay? So if I have 56, remember, here's my 10s, 5 10s, 6 1s, 56. And I'm going to add 12 to that. 12, remember, is 1 10 and 2 1s. Okay? So, like before, make sure they're lined up. My 6 and my 2 are on top of each other because they're both in the 1s place. My 5 and my 1 are on top of each other because they're both in the 10s place. So, I like to circle them. I think sometimes my students, I'm not sure about other second graders, my students did good if they could visually see these are what I'm adding up first, these two numbers together. Okay, so I have 6 and I have 2. So what I'm going to do, start off with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in my hand, and then I'm going to add 2 more. Okay, I want to see my total. So if you know it already, you can just write it on down. If you're not sure, you can use your fingers. You could use objects like I'm using to add it up and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? I have 8 altogether. If you're adding it without objects, you always start with your bigger number. So I'd start with 6 and count up 2 more. Don't start at 0 because we already know our big number is 6. You go 6, 7, 8. Added 2 more. Remember, you carry it down right underneath. Now I'm going to go to my 10s place, so I'm only looking at this part. I have 5 plus 1. So to show you what that means I have 5 10s, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to add one more 10, okay? So now, count them up. How many do I have altogether? 5 plus 1. Remember, whenever you add anything plus 1, it's just the number coming right after it. So 5 plus 1 gives you 6. So my answer, 68. Make sure 1's under the 1's, 10's under the 10's. So I'm also going to show you it using your place value chart. So I showed you using actual place value sticks. Here's for the chart. I know some kids like this better. So remember, T stands for 10, O stands for 1s, okay? We only have 10's and 1's in this, so I don't need a 100 spot. We're not going up past that. So I have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have 5 10's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, start it out. I'm adding. That's why it's important we know these are our 10's, these are our 1's. I'm going to add 1 10. I'm going to do it shaded in just so we can tell it's a different part, even though we're adding it all up. And 2 1's. 1, 2. Okay, so now here's a visual. It's the same thing I did with the cubes, only here we're writing it onto paper. So you would count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 1's and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 10's. Okay, so 68. Double check our answer. Here's just a way to check. Make sure you're doing it right and you're on the right track. Okay, we're going to try a couple more. Remember, going to start out a little easier, they're going to get a little harder, but remember, we're not carrying numbers yet. That'll be for next week, just getting our brains refreshed and back on track to our addition since it's been a couple months since we've done this. We've been doing our multiplication right before we were in school any longer. Okay, so I'm going to do another one, and this time I'm going to do these at the same time, just so you can get the visual. You don't have to use these if you don't like it, if it confuses you, and you just like to do it this way, line it up and add it, that is great. I'm just showing you both ways so you have options to see what works best for you. So I'm going to try another one. And actually, let me see, I'm going to go up to the 100. So I'm going to go a little past 100, see if we can get it. I think you guys can remember it, and you guys are really good at this. So let's try one. 134 plus 21. So once again, this is super important to line up. My 1's over my 1's, 10's over my 10's, and then I only have 100 here, so there's nothing under it because I don't have 100 in the number 21, okay? So how that would look, doing it on a chart over here. This time I need to do my hundreds because I know I have hundreds in here. So I'm going to start out 134 has 100, so I'm going to draw here under the H, 3 10's, 1, 2, 3, and 4 1's. Okay, now I'm going to draw my next number, so 21. 21 doesn't have any hundreds, so I'm not adding anything in this column. It has 2 10's and 1 1. Okay, so now what that's saying right here is I had 4 plus 1, which is what I have right here. Always start in your 1's place, remember, 1's first. 4 plus 1, call it out if you know it, and then check it with what I'm writing down. Okay, 4 plus 1 gives you 5. Okay, hope you guys got that one right. Let's try the next one. So now we have 3 plus 2, which we demonstrated right here using our hundreds, 10's, and 1's. 3 10's plus 2 10's gives us also 5. Now we're moving over to our hundreds. We only have 100, nothing else. So, bringing it on down, okay? 155. So, we're going to try 2 more, and then I'm going to have some up on another piece of paper that you guys can try at home. I want you to have an adult help you. If you need any help, you can always have your parents reach out to me through class tag or your teachers through their method of communication. If you have any questions along the way, and we're going to go over them on Zoom on Wednesday also as a refresher. So we're going to do one more. We're going to go into the hundreds because I think you guys can get it and you guys can remember it. So let's try 127. Okay. okay? Plus, let's see, we'll do another number because remember, we're not going to carry today. So we're just going to do basic up and down, vertical method, up and down. We can do 132. So first we're going to look at 127. Remember our place value. How many hundreds are there? Let's look at our hundred spot. It's the third one from the right. So 1, 2, 3. So we have 100. Now we're in our 10 spot. Okay. We have our 2. And our 1 spot. Remember, 1 is always furthest to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now I'm worried about my number down here. I'm looking at 132. How many hundreds? We have 1. How many tens in the middle? We have 3. And how many ones? We have 2. So now I've represented it here. Remember, that's optional if you prefer the vertical method on its own and you can do it and don't need the picture representation. That's your choice, whichever way you want to do. So I'm going to circle it. Always start in your ones, because once we start doing our borrowing and carrying for addition and subtraction, you will get the wrong answer if you don't start in your ones. So it's super important. So 7 plus 2. Remember over here, 7 plus 2, so 7, 8, 9, 1 up 2. Now moving over to the tens, you just keep moving from the right all the way over. 2 plus 3, so I have 2 plus 3, gives me 5. Write down my 5, remember it goes right under the 10 spot, so I'm adding tens, my answer for the tens has to be right underneath it. Now I'm moving over to my hundred spot, because remember, started here, worked our way to the left. 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1, that should be a quick know it right off the top of your head. 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, make sure you write it under there. Okay, so I think you guys can try some on your own. I know you guys can do it. So what I'm going to do, I'll use this other piece of paper. I'm going to give you guys a couple to do. I want you to use scrap paper. You can do it on the back of an old paper you have. You can do it in notebook paper, computer paper. It doesn't matter to me, whatever paper you want to do it in. I want you to have an adult check it when you're all finished. If you happen to have it done for Wednesday during your Zoom meeting, bring it with you. If you have any questions, bring it with you. So whatever you're working on, bring that material on Wednesday so that we can go over it. If we see you made a mistake, we can help you figure out where you made your mistake. If you got it right, you can help other kids figure it out. So just bring whatever work you have done by Wednesday with you to the Zoom meeting, okay? So your first problem, and if you need to pause the video at the end so you can write all these down, you can, or you can write them on paper as I go through them as well, okay? So your first one, we're going to remember, start out easy, they're going to get a little harder. Your sixth one will be the hardest, okay? So first one, 70 plus 4, okay? Make sure yours looks like mine. The 0 and the 4 are lined up on top of each other. The 7 is by itself, nothing is underneath it, okay? So first one, 70 plus 4. Your second problem you're going to try at home, which I know you guys will do awesome on, is 46 plus 33, okay? 6 and 3 line up, 4 and 3 line up, okay? I'm going to move over here. Your third problem, and remember you can pause this video at any point to write these down if I'm going too fast, okay? Third problem I want you to try on your own. 78, okay, write that on your paper. Plus 20, okay? So remember, 8 and 0 line up, always start in the ones place. 7 plus 2, line up, you do those second. Now we're going to move down here. Your fourth problem. So for your fourth problem, I want you guys to try. Remember, we're getting harder, so I'm going to add some hundreds in here. 124. Okay, first number, 124. And we're going to add 103 to that number. okay? So remember, line up your ones, your tens, and your hundreds on top of each other. Sometimes what I do if I get confused, because there's a lot of numbers, it can be tricky, I cover up the rest while I'm working. So I see, first part I'm doing, 4 plus 3, 2 plus 0, 1 plus 1, okay? That makes it a little easier for you. Number 5, the fifth one I want you guys to work on. 147, okay? 147 plus 112. Remember, 7 and 2 line up. You start with that guy, move over, keep going. And your last one, I'm going to go a little bit harder. This will be kind of your challenging one. See if you could get it. If you get stuck or confused, reach out to me, reach out to your teacher, or we can go over it during your Zoom meeting, okay? Because we're doing the same thing. Even when we get above 100, same thing. So let's do 342, okay? Getting a big number, same thing though, don't let it stress you. So 342 plus 236, okay? So you're going to have 342 plus 236. I know it looks a little tricky, but you don't do anything different. You start out over here, you add up your ones, then you do your tens in the middle, and then you do your hundreds, okay? And remember, practice your fact fluency. You can print them out. You can use index cards if you have them, or paper, and mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever you have at home that's an adult can write out some fact fluency for you, which is like 1-digit numbers, or a 2-digit number plus a 1-digit number, trying to keep the sums 20 and below, just to get those to be immediate. So you don't even have to add them up, you'll just know them right off the top of your head. So these are the 6 I want you to try independently at home. Have somebody check it like I said, or somebody can help you if you're having some trouble. Remember, you can use your tens and ones charts and you can draw it, or you can do 100 tens and ones chart and draw it to help you when you're adding. Or you can use your hundreds chart if you want to print one or make one at home. So thank you for tuning in for today's math lesson. Just a couple things to remind you before you leave. You are important. You are missed so much. You guys have no idea. Me, Miss Lynn, and Miss Clothier have been FaceTiming to come up with your lessons, and that's what we say a million times a day, how much we miss you all. You are loved to the fullest. You are so smart. I know you guys have been working so hard at home. I've talked to some of your parents, and I know Miss Lynn and Miss Clothier have also. And you guys are just doing amazing at home. So keep up all that hard work. And I believe in you. All of 2nd grade believes you guys can do this, and you're doing a great job. So try and work on these. Write them down, or you can do it right from the video, whatever works best for you, and then bring that for your Zoom on Wednesday, just so we can kind of review, check in, see how it's going, and I look forward to seeing you all. I miss you guys, I love you guys, and keep being amazing. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.